The Bachelor has it all, from uncomfortable kisses to dramatic catfights to drunken sagas. Makeout sessions in particular aren't exactly unusual on the show, but some are cemented in our minds forever. Here are some of the most awkward kisses in Bachelor history. Get ready to cringe. The Bachelor has plenty of moments that are sure to give you secondhand embarrassment, but this one just might take the cake. If you can't help but cringe at the thought of getting a kissing lesson, you're not the only one. That's exactly what happened to Ben Flanagan on The Bachelor when Jamie Otis insisted on giving him a step-by-step guide on exactly how to kiss her by opening and closing his mouth at specific times. While kissing lessons might be something an inexperienced kisser might appreciate, Ben was a grown man, and Jamie deciding that this lesson should happen in front of all of America is something we might never get over.
You were the worst kisser on The Bachelor ever?
I was.
Who was the Bachelor that you were kissing?
Ben Flanagan.
Of course, there's a way to go about communicating your wants and needs to your partner without being so harsh. Poor Ben did not seem like he wanted the kissing lesson, and honestly, who can blame the guy? The Bachelor isn't exactly known for its gross-out moments. This isn't Fear Factor after all. There's one moment from Jason Mesnick's season of The Bachelor, however, that might make you lose your appetite. Remember when you were a kid and you saw your classmate picking their nose and eating their boogers? Remember how it made you want to vomit? Well, now imagine kissing someone as an adult and eating their boogers. It's a pretty gross idea, right? No one wants a snotty kiss. And Jason didn't want Shannon Bear's snotty kiss either. However, she couldn't seem to understand why. In between wiping snot from her face with a napkin and getting bits of it stuck to her tongue in the process, Jason would decide to cut their kiss short. Why was Shannon so snotty? Oh, well, that's because she was in the middle of telling Jason just how much of a connection they had that she really wanted him to see. Jason clearly didn't feel it himself. And as such, Shannon was one sobbing, sniffling, snotting mess. The Bachelor has featured plenty of romantic kisses as well as plenty of cringeworthy smooches. This kiss between Carly Waddell and Evan Bass, however, was actually painful to watch. When you think of a hot and spicy kiss, it probably sounds pretty good, right? Unfortunately for this Bachelor in Paradise couple, their kiss was just a bit too hot and spicy. The now married lovebirds were tasked with eating habanero peppers and then kissing for 90 seconds in an effort to break the Guinness World Record for the longest habanero pepper kiss. It was pretty disgusting to watch, and we imagine that it must have been pretty disgusting for Carly and Evan to do, too. Nevertheless, the pair did break the record, thus setting a new record for 1 minute and 41 seconds. When they pulled their sweaty faces apart, however, viewers got a close-up shot of good old stringy saliva. Despite that unbearably painful kiss, Carly and Evan are actually one of the few lasting couples from the Bachelor franchise.
With Evan, I knew I was in love with him. Definitely.
That's something no one saw coming, especially after this. If you're a Bachelor fan, you've probably found yourself closing your eyes during certain moments because they're just too much to watch. If that sounds like you, we're willing to bet you had a hard time seeing this particular moment play out on screen. Consent is key, of course, but sometimes asking for a kiss can come off awkwardly. When Fred Johnson asked Rachel Lindsay if he could kiss her on The Bachelorette, it was just plain uncomfortable. Rachel wasn't pleased whatsoever, even though Fred admitted that he'd been waiting to kiss her for 20-something years.
I've broken this down quite a bit.
He told her, "I just want to ask, is this the time that you feel that I can kiss you? I want to ask you because I want you to feel comfortable." Rachel said that Fred's ask didn't make her feel comfortable. Rather, it had the complete opposite effect. The discomfort was written all over her face for viewers across America to see, and it's safe to say we all experienced some secondhand discomfort. While Bachelor relationships progress at the speed of light, there's absolutely nothing wrong with taking it slow. In fact, it's really quite a nice change of pace. But sometimes things move so slowly that they fall behind completely. Unfortunately, that's exactly what was happening to poor Wells Adams on JoJo Fletcher's season of The Bachelorette. It's important to note that everyone was rooting for Wells. So much so that he became the bartender on The Bachelor in Paradise just because fans simply wanted more of him. What probably helped make Wells so endearing on JoJo's season was that he was the last competitor to actually kiss her. So when he leaned in for his first attempt, which became a weird high-five turn-side kiss, viewers awed. It's safe to say, though, that no one thought it was even a real kiss.
So, to talk about that, you have to understand, I didn't get a lot of time just alone with her.
Wells said that he, quote, desperately, immensely wanted to kiss JoJo. And to be honest, JoJo wanted him to kiss JoJo. Unfortunately, what happened in this moment hardly registered as a kiss. Still, JoJo took it like a champ, laughing and saying, "That was good. That was so good." And America continued to love Wells anyway. When Emily Maynard's season of The Bachelorette was being filmed, contestant Doug Clergett was a single father struggling with leaving his kid in order to participate on the show. And because of that, he was also struggling to move forward with Emily. The problem with Doug is that when he finally did decide to make a major move, it happened to be in the middle of Emily's attempt to break up with him. So when we say major, we mean majorly awkward. Doug planted one on Emily while she was trying to explain to the poor guy that it was over. Emily thanked him for the kiss, and realizing that it was a little too late, he responded with, "Yep." The whole thing was equal parts sad for Doug, uncomfortable for Emily, and awkward for viewers across the country. Perhaps Doug should have left things as they were. It seems he thought a kiss could salvage their connection, or lack thereof. But alas, his plan backfired, and Emily dumped him anyway. Bachelor franchise favorite JoJo Fletcher had quite a few awkward smooches on The Bachelorette, one of which happened with contestant Will. Should kisses ever be planned? Will certainly thought so. His planned peck didn't quite work out the way he'd hoped, though. On night one, the contestant made an origami fortune teller that would unearth their next move. And of course, it was a kiss. JoJo was surprised and asked Will if they were going to kiss right then and there, to which he confirmed that yes, they would be. So as the fortune teller foretold, the two kissed. As anyone could have predicted, however, it ended up being one of the most awkward displays of affection ever. After the kiss, JoJo told the cameras that she wasn't necessarily ready for it. To be fair, though, no one could have been prepared for that moment. Will still seemed pretty content with it, though. Bachelor in Paradise stars Josh Murray and Amanda Stanton were, to put it mildly, obsessed with each other. They were into each other so much, in fact, that every chance they got, they were locking lips. And it didn't matter who could see or hear them. To put it lightly, Josh and Amanda's makeout sessions were rather audible. As Bachelor in Paradise viewers know, fellow contestants could often hear the lip smacking and moaning throughout the secluded resort. However, the most cringy part of their incessant noises was that they'd go on for ages in the middle of everyone and everything. Josh and Amanda's lack of social awareness was, frankly, astonishing. To no one's surprise, Josh and Amanda ultimately went on to get engaged. And also, to no one's surprise, Josh and Amanda ultimately went on to break up.
Yeah, we did break up. I'm sad.
Otherwise, you'd probably still hear them kissing. Bachelor Colton Underwood made headlines for being a virgin, but he also made waves within the Bachelor mansion for seemingly being a bit kiss-shy. And while Colton's long-awaited kiss on The Bachelor wasn't necessarily awkward, the gossip about him while he was enjoying the kiss definitely was. In a hilarious moment on Colton's season, the women vying for his heart could be seen sitting around the common space talking about their one-on-one time with him and wondering when the time would come for Colton to make his move on any one of the contestants. While the women were racking their brains about why Colton hadn't yet kissed anyone, the camera showed The Bachelor outside actually kissing someone. Miss North Carolina 2018, Caelynn Miller Keys. Caelynn revealed in the episode that Colton, quote, kisses very well for a virgin, and that even she was shocked at how he took the initiative and drew her in. Hey, don't judge a book or Bachelor by its cover. Bachelor darling and season 15 Bachelorette Hannah Brown thought she and Jed Wyatt were having a nice private makeout session on an episode of her season. However, their moment wasn't quite as secluded as they thought. They were going at it pretty intensely during the steamy moment, with Hannah and Jed both confessing to each other how much they enjoy being together. What they didn't realize, however, was that Kevin, another contestant, was not so patiently waiting for his turn with Hannah. And unfortunately for poor Kev, he soon walked up the stairs to find her and Jed locking lips. Kevin later admitted that he was there during Jed's passionate kiss with Hannah, agreeing that it seemed, quote, great when Jed told the other men in the house that he enjoyed his one-on-one time. When Jed asked Kevin how long he was there, Kevin admitted it was like one of those things that you see and you can't turn away from. Bachelor fans everywhere loved the fierce and empowered Bekah Martinez on Arie Luyendyk Jr.'s season of The Bachelor. However, not everyone loved Arie, especially not after he broke off his engagement with Becca Kufrin, in order to see if Lauren Burnham would take him back. Before Arie was catching criticism for breaking his fiance's heart on national TV, he was getting flack for the awkward shimmy he delivered before kissing Bekah, telling her, "I like having you around because you just make me happy." Bekah eventually shimmied her way away, ultimately dodging a bullet, she later revealed on Twitter. The former contestant has been super vocal about all of Arie's uncool behavior, going so far as to call him a, quote, manipulative a-hole during an interview with Access.
I don't even want to see him or talk to him. I mean, actually, if given the opportunity, I'm sure I would have some choice words.
She's yet to mention the weird shimmy again. Unfortunately, we'll never forget. In the Bachelor universe, sometimes it's not quite the kiss that's awkward, but everyone else's perception of it. This was certainly the case for Bachelor alum Colton Underwood. In a 2019 episode of Bachelor in Paradise, some of the cast members were sitting around the campfire with some drinks, casually gossiping about their worst kisses ever, when both Caitlin Clemens and Sydney Latuaco admitted that poor Colton was their worst. Tayshia Adams, Colton's now ex-girlfriend, said that she couldn't lie and admitted Colton's kissing skills were subpar at best. Although she went on to say, but he got better by the end of the season. When rumors swirled that Tayshia might replace Claire Crawley on season 16 of The Bachelorette, Colton reportedly tweeted, "Congrats, Tayshia. Good luck, and I hope you find yourself a better kisser." Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more list videos about your favorite reality stars are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.